How to become a wizard in Minecraft with absolutely no mods. Minecraft is a sword and sorcery sandbox game with a decidedly bigger focus on the swords than the sorcery. And if you're like me and you grew up watching The Legend of Hoodie and subsequently playing as a magic user in literally every video game ever, chances are you've always dreamed of becoming a Minecraft wizard too. Or maybe you're just looking for a way to spice up your vanilla gameplay. Whatever the case, here's 6 easy steps to multi-class your average Minecraft warrior into a powerful mage. Before we begin, I'd just like to say, hi there, welcome to my brand new channel, and according to YouTube statistics, you're not subscribed. Want to know how I know that? Because this is my first ever video. So if you subscribed, I could have the world's first perfect view to subscriber ratio. Suck on that, dream. Number 1. Things you already do. Every Minecrafter knows about enchantment tables and potions, right? You probably already use them in your everyday gameplay. And, well, blocks don't get much more magical than a floating book of spells, and lapis lazuli is the perfect substitute for ancient runestones. Using enchantments to the fullest will be key to becoming a wizard, but we'll talk more about some specific enchantments later, so just set that aside for now. Potions are another staple of Minecraft gameplay, and you should definitely use them in your arsenal of spells. Harming and poison potions make great damage spells for combat, or healing potions if you're facing off against the undead. Speed, strength, and night vision are all examples of quick charms that a wizard might cast upon themselves. For a more magical effect, use splash or lingering potions instead of merely drinking them. There are dozens of potions in Minecraft, any of which a wizard might use. Number 2. Magic staffs. When it comes to magical staffs, the closest things in-game are tridents. If you choose between a loyalty, channeling, or riptide trident, you can either get a wand of magic missiles, a lightning spell, or a flight spell respectively. You could also use an unenchanted trident, but it wouldn't fit the wizard aesthetic very well. Think of it this way. Witches have to earn their magic staffs, lose. So it makes sense that these spells are ones that you wouldn't get until later in the game. Number 3. Magic wands. What's a witch or wizard without their magic wand? Well, when it comes to magic wands in Minecraft, you're going to have to get a little bit creative. And by creative, I mean a stick. Yes, a stick. While it may not be the most glamorous wand in the world, with the right enchantments, it can be turned into quite the useful weapon. For a fire spell, enchant it with fire aspect, and boost up the power of sharpness. If you want a wand that doesn't require you to get too close to your enemies, add knockback. For a more fiery look, swap out the stick for a blaze rod, or if necromancy is more your style, try a bone. Depending on the kind of wand that you want to wield, you can really play around with adding any sword enchantments that you want. You can even keep multiple wands for different spells. And while you may deal less damage with a stick, the trade-off is that you'll never have to worry about durability ever again. It's definitely more of a challenge to play as a wizard because of this, but if you're up for making things even more difficult, I'll show you how in a little bit here. Number 4. Magic spells and artifacts. With just a little bit of imagination, all kinds of Minecraft tools and objects can be turned into magic spells. This list won't be complete, but hopefully it'll be enough for you to get what I'm saying and take it to the next level on your own. End crystals and even firework rockets both make great explosion spells. After all, what's a warlock without her eldritch blast? I suppose you could also just literally light up some TNT, but that wouldn't be very magical of you, now would it? Snowballs unfortunately don't deal damage, but that doesn't make a whole lot of sense because I've been hit by snowballs before, and I swear I must have been on at least half a heart afterwards. Thanks a lot, Kyle. However, if you've got a lot of them, they make a great distraction spell in PvP, or if you're going up against a horde of blazes, they make a nice secondary weapon. Ender pearls and chorus fruit can both be used as teleportation spells, although one is decidedly more stable than the other. Totems of Undying are powerful resurrection spells, and even respawn anchors could be seen as a necromancer's tool. A lodestone compass could make a great tracking spell. Ender chests and shulker boxes are basically bags of holding, and while we're on the topic of late game items, elytra are the ultimate flight spell. Even things as simple as flint and steel or water and lava buckets make great early game spells, and can be seen as simply summoning an element into existence. Golden apples, both enchanted and not, are pretty straightforward healing spells, and I'm sure there's even more spells you could come up with. If you think of any, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your ideas. Number 5. Magic Robes. Here's where things start to get a little bit more difficult. As long as we're going to admit that this whole thing is inspired by D&D, we have to introduce the classic rule that magic users cannot wear heavy armor. That means that if you play Minecraft as a wizard, you can only have leather armor, or chainmail too, I guess, if you can find it. So no gold, no iron, no diamond, especially no netherite. Not only does this put you at a defensive disadvantage, but it also means you have a severe lack of durability. So utilizing enchantments will be key. First off, mending and/or unbreaking will be crucial, just like any other armor set in normal gameplay, and protection wouldn't hurt either. However, here's some particularly magical enchantments your wizard might like to try. Aqua Affinity, Depth Strider, and Respiration are all enchantments the water mage might consider useful. If you're looking to go for a more water-oriented wizard, wearing a turtle shell would also count as light armor. Feather Falling, Frostwalker, and Soul Speed all have to do with your wizard's mobility. Again, depending on whether or not you're trying to specialize as a certain type of wizard or just max out your stats, utilizing these is up to you. Thorns is like the ultimate protection spell, aside from literally enchanting your armor with protection, of course, and is really useful when the only other weapon you have to fight off creepers is a glorified sharp stick. You could even dye your leather armor in fun colors for the ultimate wizard experience. I chose purple for mine because it looks good with the enchantment shine. Number 6. More ways to enchant your gameplay. For the full experience, I'd say not to use any normal tools or weapons outside of your magical arsenal. That means no pickaxes, no swords, no bows, no shields, no crossbows, not even an axe or a shovel. But of course, that's not very realistic. After all, this is Minecraft, not Magicraft. If we want to go by D&D rules once again, even a magic user gets a secondary weapon. So if you want to, you can introduce the rule that you get to keep 2 normal tools of any kind, and only that kind, during your gameplay. This can mean tools or weapons. For example, you might choose an axe and a pickaxe because the axe can double as both a tool or a weapon. Or you might go with a pickaxe and a crossbow because you want more options for ranged attacks. It really depends on who you are and how you want to play the game, but I would advise choosing at least a pickaxe for one of the tools. It's kind of hard to play the game without one. As a side note, if you do choose a bow or a crossbow, using spectral, poisoned, or other tipped arrows will be a lot more magical and fun, but it isn't necessary. Don't forget to enchant your normal items as well. Now, you might be noticing that if you decide to play as a wizard, an enchantment table will be of the utmost importance. So important, in fact, that you kinda can't play as one without it, which is a bit of a problem if you're planning to be a wizard in survival mode. To this, I offer 2 solutions. 1. You just straight up start the game with an enchantment table. If you're playing in a single-player world and you don't care about cheats and just want to get straight into the magic, this option might be for you. Or 2. You play the game normally until you're able to craft an enchantment table, at which point you become a wizard. If you want to think of this in D&D terms, think of it like you leveled up your warrior, but decided to multi-class and put your level into a wizard instead. And that's how to become a wizard in Minecraft. I've put a lot of effort into this video, and I'm excited to share it with the world as my very first YouTube video. In case you haven't noticed, I'm a little nervous, but I hope you found it fun and interesting, and maybe you'll even try it out for yourself someday. If you like this video, subscribe for more. If this video does well, I'm planning on doing similar videos for more D&D classes and fantasy archetypes, like rogues and pirates. And if you don't feel like subscribing, that's cool too. Instead, just leave a comment so the algorithm will recommend this video to more people. It really helps me out a lot as a creator, and it's less of commitment than subscribing. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon. And if you were paying attention throughout this whole video, you might have noticed that I have no friends. It's funny, because my sister, who actually plays D&D, has more friends than me.